Hi, my name is Jennifer Baranowski, and I am the president of the CODiE Awards, and I'm so grateful to have you here as a nominee. This is just a quick overview on what to expect as part of the first round judging process. So let's get started. So first off, thank you so much for entering the CODiE Awards. As you already know, being a current nominee, this is a distinguished group of technology leaders who are entering their innovative technology products that are ultimately transforming the way we learn, work, and build. So this program has been around for almost 40 years, and as you can imagine, we've seen a lot of technology change over the years, and it's really exciting to see what products are on the market. And what really sets this program apart from others is the first round review. So you may remember that we kept the nomination pretty simple. And so the reason for that is because we really want nominees to focus on the demo portion of the review. So in this first round review, we give folks a couple of months to complete it, and you're paired with two expert judges in each category that you enter. So if you're entered in one category, that's two judges that you'll have to schedule live demos with. If you're entered in 20 categories, then you have 40 judge demos. So keep that in mind as you plan out your workflow over the next couple of months. Know that it is an option to provide recorded demos if that's better. Just make sure that you're really focusing on the judging criteria that is specific to your category. That's what you're going to be judged on. So it's really important to focus on that criteria. Know that the judges are experts in their fields, and they have backgrounds ranging from teachers to administrators. We have a lot of executives. We have a lot of software developers, entrepreneurs, consultants, investors, press. So, really lots of different angles of the technology industry are represented. And they all are very credentialed and have many years under their belt in technology. So we try and pair people with in the categories that align most closely with their current work. But we find that a lot of judges will have backgrounds in several different areas. So if you have any questions about your assignments, you're always welcome to reach out, but we do make sure as part of the judge process that each of the judges clearly states how they're qualified in each specific category, so we know exactly what angle they're coming from with the nominations or from the judge application process, which is really cool. It's cool to see so many people volunteering their time and expertise to this program. And then know that the judges that we select are the top of the bunch. This year we got over 1,200 applications from judges this year. We continue to get more and more each day. And we can only assign about 300 of them because many want to review multiple products at a time. We assign actually up to 5 entries per judge. So, that way they have enough time to really focus on each of the entries, but can also see a broader swath of products as they're going through the review. And then other things, just overview things to note as you're scheduling your demos. Make sure that you only schedule for an hour. I know sometimes it's tempting to schedule for longer than that, but it's really important. People end up tuning out. They want to see a concise view of your product that's really tailored to that judging criteria. So we found that most people have no problem conducting a demo in 30 to 45 minutes of time. Some products can actually be completed in a matter of minutes, or they're more play based, so they allow judges to play with the products on their own and experience it by themselves. However you choose is totally fine with us. Just make sure, again, to touch on all those judging criteria and to keep the demos under an hour. I welcome you to, invite questions throughout the demo, make it more interactive for the nominee or for the judges. But again, keep it to that hour. And then this portion of the judging counts for 80% of your final score. So it's really, really important to make sure that you're putting your best foot forward during this time and really showing the judges exactly what they'll be scoring. So let's quickly touch on the timeline. Obviously, we've completed the nomination process, so we're in that expert review phase. It's going on now through September 12th. That's the date that all of the judge scores are due. Occasionally, there will be some judges that need a little bit of extra time, which is why we give ourselves a little bit more time before the finalist announcement. Try and have those demos scheduled ASAP, just so we know things are on track. If you're not able to get a hold of your demo or your judge, let us know. We're happy to intervene. Lots of times, you're emailing people that you've never connected with before, and spam filters don't like that. So if you're having trouble, just reach out to the CODiE Awards team, info@CODieAwards.com. We're also on LinkedIn if you need to reach us that way. And I'll have our contact information on the last slide as well. And then make sure that you have any demos completed by September 5th. You're welcome to send over a recorded demo if that is better for you, your product, your team. I know a lot of people have travel and product launches and things like that they're committed for. So if it's much better to just do a recording, that's also great. But again, make sure you're aligning that to the judging criteria and not just sending a sales demo, because that will not go over well. And then another key step is the finalist announcement. So the finalists are announced on September 24th. We will notify all nominees regarding their status. We also provide finalists with a bunch of assets so you can share that you are a finalist for the CODiE Awards. After that, we go into our second round review, which takes place September 29th through October 10th. This is a really quick vote by the CODiE Award community, so no additional information is required at that point. The people voting in that round will only be looking at your product description, see your logo, have the opportunity to visit your website and check out your social. But they won't be reviewing demos. They won't be, getting that deep dive like you had in the first round. That's why the second round is only accounting for 20% of the overall score. But it's a great chance to get additional eyes on your product and have more people having an understanding of what your company does and the problem it's trying to solve. So it's fun and quick and easy. And then we're announcing the winners virtually on October 22nd. Again, we will notify everyone who's entered into the awards and provide plenty of assets for the winners, so stay tuned there. We also ship all of the trophies, the official CODiE Award trophies, so you'll get information on that as well. And then we're opening entries for 2026 in January. So mark your calendar there. The timeline's shifted up a little bit because we're actually going to have 2 different cycles, and we'll be including a people and leadership focused cycle later next year as well. So more to come there. So real quick overview on what to expect. As I mentioned, you're assigned 2 judges per entry. So keep that in mind. If you're in multiple categories, you'll have lots of different judges to coordinate with, which is fun because you have more people in your network, but it can be tricky to schedule that timing. And then know that we ask that nominees are the ones that are reaching out to the judges to schedule live demos. Occasionally, you'll have judges that will do the initial outreach, which is great. We're happy to have that. But we really want the nominees to drive this. So please do make sure to conduct that outreach and let the CODiE Award team know if you run into any trouble whatsoever getting a hold of those judges. And there's our email address there if you have any trouble. The product demos are conducted virtually, again, 30 to 45 minutes typically, and do not go over that 1 hour mark. And I often recommend to people to do time checks along the way, being like, hey, I know we only have 15 more minutes. Is there anything you'd want us to dive into further? So on and so forth. So that way people know that you're keeping an eye on the clock and really respecting the time that you have together. So I always find that goes over really well and kind of makes everyone feel like their time is valued. As I mentioned, demos may be pre-recorded if that's better for your schedule. Teachers are in the classroom starting about now, and so many times they'll want to have a recorded demo. It doesn't mean that they care any less. It just means that their hours are different than the 9 to 5. So please do respect people's work times and stuff like that. We also work with people all over the world. So sometimes it can be really tricky to schedule if you're on Pacific time and, working with an individual in Asia. So just know that scheduling can be challenging with time zones. So just be really mindful of that. We don't want anyone losing beauty sleep by watching a demo at 1 in the morning. And you're welcome to coordinate a demo with both judges on the call. Just know it can be difficult to have this work and work well. And just make sure that your judges are aware that they will be on the call with another judge. Most are totally happy to do that and actually enjoy it, and some really don't. So just make sure to be transparent up front if that's your approach. And know that if something happens and there's a scheduling snafu where one of the judges does not show up, I recommend recording that demo and then sending the recording to the judge that had the conflict. And then we can just follow up to make sure that they have all the information they need and they can ask questions if they have any additional questions that were not covered or that they needed clarification for. And then know that the evaluations are based off the category-specific judging criteria. There's the link there. It's the same page that you saw when you initially nominated. So just really make sure that you understand the different judging criteria. All of the criteria are based on a 1 through 10 scale, and then you'll also receive written feedback from the judges. You're welcome to use that feedback, to share with your team if it's really favorable. I highly recommend putting it in presentations and in marketing materials. You can really do a lot with this 1 hour of time from a third party and an expert at that. So do really think strategically on how you want to use this and which team members you want to engage as well. Now let's go over the nominee portal. Everyone has the link. It's the same one you used to actually nominate. Just click on that nominee portal button. Don't go to the judge one because that will take you to a different section and it's really meant just for judges. You're not missing out on anything. It's the same information you have. They just have access to a scoring rubric. So click on that nominee portal and you'll be able to see all of your all of your nomination information. And then you'll see at the top of the page where it says My Judge Contact Information. That's where you click to actually view your judge information and how to get a hold of them. So once you click on the My Judge Information, you'll see the judge assigned by application ID. So I have the judge information blocked out here, so that's why you just see those bars. but you'll see the judge name, their email, their LinkedIn profile, their company. And if you're in multiple categories, you'll be able to identify which category based on that application ID. So you'll see two of the same numbers, and so those are judge team for the same product. So keep that in mind as you're navigating this. And then once you're logged in, you'll see each of the products assigned to you with the contact information. So on the left side of the screen, you can actually see incomplete and complete. So this is a bit confusing, but the incomplete one is actually a demo upload spot. So if you click on incomplete, you'll see you can click on that little edit on the side under action column, and you can upload or place a link to a recorded demo there, and then judges can view the demo or revisit any of the information after the fact, and it's all in one easy to find area. And then note that you can also edit, various pieces of information in your original nomination. If something is changed in the way that you describe the product, or you've changed social links or need to update your contact information, you can do that right from the portal. So that's kind of a helpful way to navigate this. And then let's just go over a few tips on, how-tos with the demo. So again, before any of your demos happen, make sure to access your judge assignments via that judge portal or via the nomination portal. And then reach out to those judges to coordinate a demo time that works and do not exceed that 1 hour time frame. Make sure you're reviewing all of the judging criteria so you know exactly what you're being evaluated on. You're welcome to have more than one person on the demo if you feel like a tag team approach would be better. Some people like to include a technical person as well as a product team member. Some people want to include an executive. So it's really up to you. Again, I would put people that are really knowledgeable of the product and can really tell a story on these calls. Think of it like you're presenting to a very important client, and you really want to put your best foot forward because the demos do make or break whether you become a finalist or not, and really put you in a nice position going into the second round review. Make sure to check out your spam filters for any communications. I get notes all day, every day about this particular issue. So just keep on top of those spam filters, safe list, the CODiE Awards, you can safe list your judges. We also provide those LinkedIn, links to the judges' profiles. You can also, tap them on LinkedIn if that's better, if anything's not going through. So those are kind of some good pro tips. And also know if someone doesn't respond immediately, give them a day or two. They might be on vacation. They might be swamped with their own work. They might have something come up where they can't address this right that second. They've signed up for this. They know that they've been selected and they want to contribute to the program. So, if you run into an issue with a judge not responding to you, again, just let us know and we're happy to help facilitate that. Or, if something's happened where the judge needs to drop, they will assign you a new one, and that's no problem. And then another thing to note too is if you see your judges and there's a conflict of interest or anything like that, we try and be as careful as we can possibly be, but we're humans. We are actually a human-led program. So, let us know and we'll make any adjustments that need to be made. And then another, pre-demo tip is just to make sure you check the technology to just ensure your judges can log in, that you're all set to be logged in, so you don't run into any snags as you're trying to conduct your demo, because again, we're trying to put our best foot forward here. And then we already touched on this, but just make sure to have your top team members that can really tell your story on the call. I think it's really helpful to show the personality behind the company as well. That can go a long way. There's a lot of interesting products on the market, but some are extra special, so show those extra special parts as well. And then during the demo, please don't multitask. I know that should be very, standard, but you can tell. You can tell when someone is not paying attention. You can tell if they're, just giving a canned sales pitch. Again, really give this the time it deserves, and make sure you're engaging with your judges. Have that rubric up to touch on all the criteria. And I also recommend at the end of the demo, just touching on each of those judging criteria again, sharing how your product aligns and excels in those areas, and then ask your judge if there's anything else they'd like to learn more about. And you can always, if you're out of time, you can always connect them with the appropriate team member to be able to dive into that deeper. So make sure to tell your story, what it aims to solve, and how it stands out from other products. That really just helps set the stage and puts the demo on the right track. I find that it's really helpful to provide a quick overview of the product, and just high level overview of the market too. All of these judges are experts, but it's nice to just give them a little context on exactly where you're coming from, so they can angle their lens in the same direction. And also find out, what the judges are most interested in and what they're most excited about for this particular product. That helps really kind of get to know the judges a little bit better too. And then, as a pro tip, record that demo and place it in your nominee portal. That way, judges can always revisit content if they need to. If one judge misses or needs to take a recorded demo instead of a live one, you don't have to, go out of your way to re-record because it's already been done. So that's a really nice pro tip that I recommend. And then after the demo, simple thank you note goes a long way. So thank them for their time. They are volunteering. And again, you can put in some, how the product aligns to the judging criteria, what your favorite piece of the product is. Ask them if there's anything else that they'd like you to share that's hasn't already been covered. We've seen a lot of these demos turn into much larger relationships. So, they might turn into partnerships or sponsorships or customers, and it's really nice to just set that up front. And then again, just keep an eye out for the finalist announcement on September 24th, once you've completed all of your demos. So here are a few best practices that we've gathered over the years. Just reach out to the judges, up front. Share your availability. Ask them for theirs as well. Again, there's time zones, different work hours. So just be flexible to the extent you can. And if there is no clear path forward for a time that will work for everyone, then that recorded demo is an option. Be responsive. So, do reply to judges' time requests with a calendar invite as soon as you can. And also don't badger the judges. If, you send them a note, don't send them 1-2 hours later. They'll get back to you, or loop in the CODiE Awards. Make sure that you're planning ahead, especially if you're trying to set up multiple demos. It can take some time. So really start your outreach ASAP if you have not already. Again, make sure to review all the judging criteria and materials that you put into the portal beforehand, just so that you know exactly what the judges are seeing too. It's just nice to make sure your team is on the same page as the judges. Make sure that you're customizing your demo, so do not just give the canned pitch. Really customize specifically for this program. It goes a long way. And then check in with the judges again. We touched on that, but um, you're welcome to follow up afterwards and see if they have any additional questions, or if they wanted to see something else. That's totally welcomed and supported. And then if you're able to provide access to the product, that's really awesome, and judges tend to really enjoy that. So I highly recommend doing that if you have the opportunity to do that. I know not all products can support those types of requests, but if you can, please do. I've seen some products, like especially ones geared for students and things like that, or administrators, where they actually have some kids play on the devices, or they are with the product, or they have teachers actually try using it for themselves, and you get some really great real world feedback from that kind of approach. So it's a nice additional value add for your company as well. And then again, stay on track, keep to that 1 hour or less, and you'll be in good shape. And know that we've seen so many interesting partnerships and opportunities come out of the CODiE Awards. We've seen acquisitions. We've kind of seen it all over the last 40 years. So it's really incredible to see what 1 hour of time can turn into. So keep that in mind as you're going through this. I know, scheduling can be a pain and things like that, but it really can turn into a much bigger partnership. So just, keep that in mind as you're going through the demo stage. And then lastly, here's some, support and resources. We have the FAQs on the nominee page of the CODiE Award website, along with a media kit. So if you want to use our logos, you're more than welcome to do that. We also have some social copy and all that good stuff there. You can see the rules. So like regarding gifts and all of that, like please don't do it. That pretty straightforward. You can always reach out to us at the info@CODieAwards.com for help or conflicts. And then feel free to ask questions on our CODiE Awards LinkedIn page. We're on there quite a bit and happy to answer questions there as well. So thank you so much again for nominating, and we look forward to hearing how all the demos go and celebrating all the nominees this year. Thank you.